Hello and welcome to The Well. I'm your host, Dr. Brendan Arm, Doctor of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine, Chinese medicine herbalist and founder-director of Lotus Integrative Medicine in Santa Monica, California. There's a wealth of health-related information out there, and I'm joined today by this wonderful group of integrative and holistic medical doctors and practitioners to share some of our favorite wellness tips. Please let me introduce you to Bianca Rodriguez, a holistic psychotherapist, Dr. Heath McAllister, a naturopathic doctor and registered herbalist, Leona West, a clinical nutritionist and herbalist, also trained and certified in functional medicine, and Dr. Rod Krochmal, a medical doctor and a practicing physician who is board certified in family medicine, nutrition, and integrative and holistic medicine. So let's begin. Today's topic is hydration.
I just want to know, how much water is enough water? I get a lot of different information. Tell us.
Well, I can take that first. There's a lot of different opinions about this. When I was in medical school, we were told that you really need to drink your weight in ounces of water a day. So, a liter is roughly 50 ounces. So that's, if you're 100 pounds, let's say you drink 2 liters a day. If you're 150 pounds, you drink 3 liters a day. And then I've also heard different opinions that say, it's not everyone needs to drink a set amount of water. Do we all need to eat a set amount of food? Like, do we need to have different metabolisms? I do, you do, everybody does. So why would we all need the same? People generally don't drink a lot of water compared to other things they drink, like coffee and alcohol. And those are things that are very dehydrating. They have a diuretic effect on the body. So you have a net loss of water, even though they contain water. So lots of people are consuming these things and maybe not just drinking enough water. So that's number one. Number two, a lot of the water that we drink is empty. And when I say empty, I mean it's devoid of mineral substance. Whereas throughout human history, we drank water out of wells, out of streams, out of rivers. They had a mineral content to them. So very often I've found patients that have this thirst. They're thirsty all the time, but they never seem to quench that thirst. And to me, that represents a mineral deficiency. Their body their innate sensibilities are saying, hey, we need minerals and we need hydration. Go drink water because we'll have both. And now it doesn't contain both anymore. Reverse osmosis water does not contain minerals. So oftentimes with those patients, I put them on mineral drops. Now, how much water they're supposed to drink, that's still the lingering question. I think the best advice that I've heard is drink according to your thirst. That if you're thirsty, drink. If your urine is really dark, drink more water. But there's no set answer. Sorry, I hogged that question.
Well, I just have a quick question. So all those fancy waters that are out there, are they like smart water is smart or it's not so smart?
Leona?
Okay, well, smart water, I think, is just reverse osmosis with some electrolytes. So it's water that was kind of not so smart, and then it got, maybe a little bit smarter at the end of the process. I think your intake of water has a lot to do, first and foremost, with your food intake, because the best source of water is your food. Because if I drink a whole glass of water, I'm actually only going to absorb and utilize maybe a fourth of that cup of water, because molecularly that water is still a little bit big in terms of how it's going to get absorbed into the cells. But water is perfectly filtered through fruits and vegetables in the perfect molecular size for our cells to uptake, and even the little bit of natural sugar allows for the delivery of that water as well. And I'll tell you a firsthand experience of that which was really fascinating. I'm still fascinated by it going through it. So in my nutrition quest in my whole life, I've spent good chunks of time doing specific diets, macrobiotic, Ayurveda. And so I did a 100% raw food diet for nearly 2 years. And there was a point in that diet where my thirst almost entirely disappeared. And the reason being is I was drinking my food. I was getting so hydrated by the food I was eating. And it was just this amazing experience of just having a lack of thirst. And then when I did start incorporating food again, especially things like, grain products. I just remember like, oh, it was so dehydrating at first, just kind of adjusting to such dense, dense, less water food. But keep in mind that even a block of cheese is like 30% water. So, we get a lot of water from our food. So I think ultimately what your diet looks like in terms of how water dense it is with fruits and vegetables also kind of dictates maybe how much water you need outside of from your diet.
The other thing I would add to that in terms of food is that I found a lot of my patients say, I'm drinking so much water, but I still feel so dehydrated. And part of that may be what, to your point, Leona, is that it may be hard to absorb because it may not be in the right state, or it may be reverse osmosis that has not had any minerals added to it. But a lot of times it can just be from the gut health itself. So the healthier that we eat, the healthier our gut is. And if our gut is not healthy, there's inflammation there, which means that a lot of the water is leaking out of our blood vessels and into the spaces in between our cells. So we feel bloated. And so we really are drinking enough water. It's just not going to the right place because we have inflammation in our body. And so the other point that I would make is in terms of reverse osmosis, is that besides mineral drops, one thing that I do, like I usually have a glass of like 16 to 24 ounces around at all times and drink 2 or 3 of them during the day. But I do reverse osmosis water, and there's in terms of bottled water, like the smart waters that Bianca was talking about, that can be fine if you're in a pinch, but economically there's good filters around. And even though that does take all the minerals out of the water, I just add a little bit of sea salt into the water, and that is a quick way to add some minerals back in. I just feel like it absorbs so much better that way. So that's a quick and easy and economical way to have a good source of water around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. If you have a topic you'd like to learn more about, let us know with a comment on social media. And also don't forget to subscribe to our The Well YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us, and please join us next time for more wellness tips. Remember, regardless of where we are, our resources in The Well are limitless.